together here. Let me make sure I'm live in the right group. I'm not on my page. Never hurts to check. Let's see, groups. Okay. I am going to pull up my comments just in case. Okay. If you're hopping on or you're watching the replay or whatever it may be, just say, hey, let me know who I'm talking to so that I know. Am I live in the right group? Oh, yeah, I am. I was going to say, ooh, it looked very, hey, Amanda. I have no plan for these yet. Usually I have a plan ahead of time, but I do not have a plan. So, I'm just going to wing it a little bit. Okay, so if you have the option to either make either one a boy or a girl, or I mean you don't have to, but I feel like these glasses are more for a boy, and these glasses are more for a girl. And we're gonna make a bow to put on one of them. So if you want to make one a girl and one a boy, it doesn't matter which one. I, however, am gonna take this one with the bent ear, and he's gonna be my boy. Okay, so this actually won't take that long because you are only painting the top layer and the other two layers are just to glue to it so it stands on its own. Each, the carrot and the other girl bunny. So it's not gonna take too long. Bunny colors. Let me think about this. So I think I'm gonna do my boy bunny gray with pink ears. And then my girl, I don't know. I wish I would have painted white ahead of time and done white with pink ears maybe. I don't know. I'm going to come back to the girl, but I know for sure. So I'm going to find the gray. Does anyone else have any of this congestion or anyone else get sick? I didn't really get sick, like no flu, but I have so much congestion. Alright. Now I gotta find a gray I like, because that one's almost empty. And for some reason, I don't have another gray down here, which is kind of odd. Hold on a second, let me go grab a gray. Alright. Okay, so I'm gonna use elephant gray for the boy. Yes, I know. There's so much going around, Amanda. And I knock on wood, but I'm so thankful that no one in my house has gotten the flu or any other, everybody, especially having kids in school, like I feel like you're bound at some point to have something in your house, and we've been very, very lucky this year, so hopefully I don't jinx us. The only thing I've had is this like congestion, and no one else has even gotten that. Alright. Can't get my plastic off. What have you been up to, Amanda? Anything new? I am not prepared today. Okay, so I'm going to sponge my bunny. So I don't know if I've ever, I know we have some new people in this group, but if you have these little etched lines, the key to not getting paint in them are these sponges, which you either love them or you hate them, because I do paint parties sometimes, and some people do not like the sponges, but I paint almost everything with these, and I use the bigger end. Dip it in my gray paint, and then, so you just dab over those etched lines, and they're crisp. No paint goes down in them. Although on these ones, I'm probably gonna go over them with black to make them more bold, but you could still leave them if you wanted to without even putting black on them. Ooh, bathroom remodel. That is intense, Amanda. I tell you, remodeling these days, I love the finished product, but the living through remodel is not for the weak. It is not for the faint of heart. Man, we are currently adding on to the back of our barn, which isn't even, we don't even live in here, and it's still not for the faint of heart. I feel like we've been working nonstop because you work your regular job, and then you have to go work on that in your free time. It wears you down. The older I get, the more I'm like, okay, I'm not cut out for this anymore. Hey, Dawn. So, do a little recap if anybody's just joining us besides Dawn. This little one with the ear down, I'm making him a boy bunny. It doesn't matter. You can make either one a boy or a girl or neither. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to add a bow to one of them, which is going to make it a girl. And I feel like these glasses are more for a girl and these are more for a boy, but it's whatever floats your boat. And again, we're only painting the top pieces of each one. The other ones are just to glue to the back of it so that they stand on their own. So this is not a hard project at all. I know I've been having you guys do a couple tougher ones, so I thought I'd give you a little easier one. Yes, I agree, Amanda. The thing with the barn is he had a guy come help him frame it up and get the trusses up, but after that it was just him and me, and we had to put that roof on. I'm just not cut out for that. For one, I'm not a construction worker. For two, I'm not a man. For three, I'm old. And I told him this time, like, every night we would come in from working on the barn, I'm like, I'm getting too old for this. I hope you don't ever want to add on to this barn again, because the older I get, the more I just can't. I'm so sore the next day, lifting up those sheets of metal. I'm sure he was way worse than I was. He was doing way more work than me. I was more of the, just a helping hand to help carry and lift things up to him, but I'm not cut out for that no more. Okay. Okay, so we got all the gray, which I'm not for sure on the darkness of this gray. So you may have to learn from my mistakes. I'm gonna get the pink ears in and see if that helps lighten it a bit. So we're gonna hold on that. Pink center of his ears, pink little nose. I think I'm going for, I have this color called Cactus Flower, and I just love this pink. So I think I'm gonna go with it for my center of my ears and the nose. You could do, I sent stain with your guys' boxes because you could do like a stain bunny, or the centers, stained ears. I just didn't know. I mean, there's a lot you can do. So, and it never hurts to have more stain. So I figured I'd send it, and you can either use it if you want, or don't and save it for another time. If you wanted to do super neutral, like white and stain, gray and stain, that would be cute too. Dawn, Sadie's birthday party the other day was the cutest thing ever. If you're the one that put all that together, you did an amazing job. That was so stinking cute. I did a paint party for one of my girls' birthday parties back when they were around Sadie's age, and you did way better than I did. I kind of did a similar thing where I had like, it looked like you had a stencil and put on a canvas, and I did kind of a similar thing, and then when they peel it off, then it makes the shape of it, which it looked like that's what you did, but it was just so cute. Even your decorations were cute. I bet Sadie loved that. Okay. So, here's the pink. I just don't know about this. I'm not feeling it. It's like too bold of colors, I think. Hold on. See what I'm saying about like how bold it is? I don't know. Maybe I might shade it a little bit. I know, wasn't it, Amanda? I thought just it was so cute. Okay, I'm gonna go on with this lighter pink cotton candy. And I'm gonna try to shade the edges of these ears and take some of the harshness off of it. Because, and again, I'm still using a sponge. Told you I do almost everything with a sponge. Sponge or a paint marker. Dab off all the way, like there should be barely any paint, and then just dabble on the sides, and that's how I shade. I'm just hoping it takes some of the harshness off. I don't know what it is about it. I just don't like the harshness. Can you add some white brush hair stripes? That's true too. Like make him look like he kind of has fur. I think that's might be what he might need. My dog's whining because I got the door shut. But my door has glass in it so he can see me in here, but it's like if you have him in here, he whines because he wants out. But if you have him out there, then he whines because he wants in. Can't please him. Alright, so here's what it looks like with a little light pink on the edge. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to drop that in. I'm going to do the same to the nose. Which I like. I think what I might do is make my girl bunny white with pink ears and pink nose just to kind of match the boy bunny, but a little bit different. And I wish I would have painted my bunny white ahead of time, but I didn't. My phone froze up. I did the turtle stencils. So much work. My friend crocheted the little fish when we made the aquarium. It was so stinking cute. But I can imagine that was so much work, especially the amount of girls that were there, like the amount of canvases you had to do. You probably been working on that for quite some time. Well, your hard work paid off because it was adorable. Okay, what shall I do with this bunny? I'm gonna try using a lighter gray, but I'm almost out of it. So it's called Dolphin Gray. I'm just gonna mess around real quick with this and see if I can't make it look not as harsh. Shading. I'm only gonna shade on like, not the whole thing, just like certain. I wonder if I took my stencil brush. Hold on. This does help take some of that off, the harshness off. You just need another dimension. Okay. I'm okay with that. So now, on your very back piece, we mirrored it the opposite way so that you didn't have the like char marks on the back. So the very back piece is mirrored, so it should be a nice crisp piece of wood. So we're gonna glue the back in the middle. I'm gonna glue this all down, and then I'm gonna do my details on the whiskers and the eyes. So glue that down. Make sure most importantly, make sure the very bottom is lined up perfectly, because that's what's going to, if the bottom is off, then it's not going to stand on its own. So if you line the bottom up, everything else should pretty much follow suit, but the bottom is definitely the most important part. Same thing with this piece. Bottom is the most important piece. I really hope someone uses stain on these bunnies, because I really want to see a like a neutral bunny. I might make another set of these just to put in my trailer. Maybe I might use stain on another set, just to give you guys a visual of what the stain looks like. That bottom, there we go. Okay, we're gonna drop the ear in. Boop. Okay, before I glue the nose down, I'm gonna do, you can take a thin brush with black paint. I'm gonna use a thinner paint marker because I have it, but you can easily do it with a brush too. And I'm gonna do the face part first because it's easier to do it without a nose there, stopping my hand from laying down. And of course, my marker's dying. Let me find a fresh one. Because I don't have one in here. I'm working with what I got. So I have to go over it more than once. Okay. His eyeballs are done. Or his eyelashes. He's coming together. Now I'm gonna do, for the whiskers, I'm just gonna do one single line, touching up these eyeballs because my marker is not good. Single line, single line. And if you paint a lot, these Posca pens are worth the investment. They take me a lot of time. Okay, whiskers are on. Now we gotta put the nose on. And another little trick that I do, if for some reason you line up the bottom, or this is for anything, if you paint anything, and there's a little part that's showing raw wood that's like not flush with the other, I just take a black marker and I'll run it around the edge, and then you can't see if it's not completely like lined up. This helps like the raw wood not show, and if it's black then you don't pay attention to it. Okay, here's the little boy bunny, which I might go back to him. I'm not sure if I'm completely content with this, but still pretty cute. Okay. Oh, I forgot his glasses. How could we forget? Okay. The glasses, I am going to do black on him. I'm not for sure what I'm going to do. If I'm going to do black glasses on the girl or not. Just taking black paint with my sponge. I should probably move this out of the way. The glasses are the cutest part. I plan on staining my girl. I think that would be cute too. I really want to see it. I'll probably do another set because I like the gray and pink, but I also like stain and white. Stain white and black. I love everything stain white and black. would be cute. Or even pink and stain. Okay. I'm gonna put his little glasses on. Oh. Okay. Okay, he looks so much cuter with his glasses on. Don't his glasses just make him? I think that is so stinking cute. Cutie. Alright. Let's work on our girl. I know for sure I'm going to do the centers pink and the nose pink because I want it to match the boy. So I'm going to start with what I know. So I'm going to do the dark pink again, and then I'll go back on the edges with the light pink. And it would be really cute if you put some like textured lines on them. The only thing that scares me about putting textured lines is I'm a very like clean line. I'm not a messy painter, I guess. And sometimes when you're not a messy painter, it makes it hard to let things flow freely, I guess. And then I start critiquing all my lines, and I guess it's a little bit of OCD kind of, really. That's why I have a hard time with that. I just know myself. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry. I think I'm gonna paint her glasses black. The other thing I was thinking about, so this little string here is for her bow. If you have other ribbon, obviously, you're free to use whatever you want. I just send it because I wanted you guys to have what I had. But I also painted the pink on them because I wanted it to tie into the bow a little bit. Reese, stop, boy. Alright. Black glasses. Let me wipe my hand off. It's got black paint on it. Okay, I'm going to take the light pink again, go back to my ears, dab off, and still got too much paint. All I know is I wish I would have painted the bunny ahead of time, because now I'm hesitant on even, I do not want to sponge this thing white, because you know how I feel about white paint. It takes so much time to get a crisp white. Wish I would have spray painted it. That's why you should have a plan ahead of time, not just wing it. Alright. I thought about staining it, but I just don't know about the stain with the gray. Okay. Glasses are done. Centers are done. To be honest with you guys, I might wait and spray this. Just because I don't want to glue all of it down and it not be crisp. So I may come back to that. No, I can't do a white bunny, because what about a white bow? Huh. I could. Now what? Now I've done put myself in a predicament. I guess I might stain it. I don't want to do gray. I can't do pink because I already did the centers of it pink. Can't do white because it's a white bow. So here we go. We're gonna stain it. See how it looks. Another sponge, a little bit of stain. Just glide it across. I don't think it actually looks that bad with the gray. I don't know, I'll see what you guys think. Okay, that was quick. Okay, we're gonna glue the back. Again, this is mirrored too, so it should be clean on the very back piece. Glue our back in our middle. Make sure the bottom is straight across the bottom. Okay, now our top piece. Make sure it's straight across the bottom. Now here's something else I learned about this stain. Sometimes if you try to use a paint marker on wet glaze, it will like try to run. So I may give this a minute and come back to it before I do my whiskers and eyes. So just to give you all a heads up if you're using a paint marker. If the stain is wet, it will run. Okay, so I'm gonna leave my nose off until I get my marks on. And we're gonna work on the bow. We'll work on our bow and our carrot and we'll come back to the girl bunny. I think it's gonna be fine. Okay, so you should have gotten this and a piece of jute to tie the bow with. So, take your, I thought about doing all these for you all, but then I was like, you know what, they should learn how. Take your bow and make like a ribbon shape like this. Then you're going to take the back of the loop, bring it forward, and then you should have this. It doesn't matter if these aren't even because we can always trim those and whatnot. We can make it how we want it and how long or short we need it, but that's the gist of it. Then once you got your center, you're going to scrunch your center together, like squeeze it like this. One hand like this, jute in the other hand, lay your jute down flat. You want the front of your bow to be laying down on the jute. Then you're going to take your jute while still holding the ribbon, tie a knot. I always tie it once and then kind of like finagle the bow how you want it, flip it over and make sure everything's good on the front before I make another loop. So now everything's the way it needs to, and I'm going to go around one more time. You don't have to do this part, it's just what I do. And then knot it around the back again. And then I double knot, so I'm going to do one more knot around the back. And then you'll trim off the excess jute. And you can always kind of like shape it and pull it, make it, how you want it. Make your loops all even, and then I take the pieces, and if you got one side longer than the other, this is where you would trim it. I'm pretty good at making little bows, so I don't need to do that. But then you're going to fold it in half, and you're going to cut an angle, and that's a dovetail. So then it's going to look like that. And you don't have to do this part. I just think it makes a bow look cuter, more like a bow. But again, solely up to you. Okay, and then you got your little bow. Cute. Okay, so we may have to, I just cut everybody's string just so they had enough string. You may have to trim, which we should have looked at this before we did this, but you're going to have to trim your pieces to where it doesn't hang down in the bunny's eye. So before you do the dovetail, see how long you need to cut the ends off. I hope I'm making sense. If I'm not, you can always. That's true. They were brown and gray. Tom and Jerry was. What a classic cartoon. They just don't make cartoons like that anymore. All right. If anybody has any troubles while they're doing this, you can always message me, or if you got any questions later on when you're watching the replay, I always go back, so you're free to ask any questions. I'm here to help. Okay, our bow's done. Now we're going to work on this carrot because I'm still trying to let that stain dry a little bit before I go on with a paint marker. Okay, carrot. This one's pretty simple. We're just doing the top layer. Now do I want a bright orange or a dark orange? I think I'm just going to go with a medium orange. Carrot orange. I use my sponge again. Also, for those of you, and there's a few new people, you have sponges in your box, but if you need more, just take your scissors, cut the end off of it, and then you can use this several times. I use mine all the way down to like there. So these are good to use for quite some time. If you want to use, obviously, more colors than what there are sponges. So the thing too about dabbing with the sponge is these little lines on your carrot, it's just going to go right over them. You don't have to worry about getting paint down in there. Now, I'm going to use, it's kind of like a medium green. I wish I don't really know the color of this because I have it in a bottle. It's just the same green I use all the time. I'll show you the color. And then we're going to do this top part of this with the green. Show you what I got so far. Just a regular old carrot, little green, little orange. We're going to let this dry for a minute, and then I'm going to probably take a darker green and just put some lines on the top part, just because I like to do that with any kind of greenery. So I'm going to take like a thin line brush, take the darker green, and I just like to make little, hold on, I'll show you just a second. Just little greenery lines. I don't know if you can see that. Just put a little darker green on there. Still trying to dry. And then we're going to glue, same as the other two, we're going to glue, I don't believe the carrot. I don't think the carrot is mirrored. No, carrot is not mirrored. So we're just going to, you'll see there's two little lines on the top and bottom. They have to line up. So back, middle, glue that down. Same with the top. And then in your box should have been what is called raffia. It's that like hay looking stuff. And we're going to tie that around this carrot. Just for an extra little added flair. I think raffia on carrots just is the cutest. It just makes it look that much cuter. Adds a little pizzazz. Okay. So, and this one, just give it a hold for a few minutes and then it's stacked. If you're just hopping on, you may have to go back and catch the replay for the beginning part, but it's really pretty simple. I mean, I'm sure you guys can You're stacking your pieces so that they stand on their own. That's why there's 3 of each. We started with our boy bunny. I did gray and pink. And then we got our girl bunny going, but we still got to put her face on and her glasses and her bow. But you just glue your 3 pieces, top, middle, and front. That way they can stand on their own. When you're lining them up, just make sure your bottom is lined up, which I've said that in the beginning, but just in case. Okay, our carrot is all good, which I think, so I think I might just dress mine just a tad. With your glaze, you can just barely any glaze at all, like barely any. You just rough up the edges and it just gives it a distressed look. You don't have to do this part, I just like it. You could also go over your lines on the carrot if you wanted to also, but I think the engraving shows enough for my likings. So now you should have had some of this with you in your box. So we're going to take, obviously mine's not cut yet, so you're going to have to bear with me while I pull some out for mine. I believe you had like three-ish pieces that I put together. So you're going to take your pieces, you're going to go on the back of the carrot at the part where the stem and the carrot meet. Do a little knot. Now you can either do a knot and cut it off. I don't know that there's enough for a bow. Let me try, but I don't know that that's gonna work. But I mean, I guess you could do a little bow too. There's probably enough for a bow. I like the craziness of raffia, but if you don't, you can always cut it and tame it down a little bit, or you don't even have to put this part on if you don't want. I just liked it. Another little trick that I do with raffia is sometimes if you have bigger pieces, you can take it and split it down the middle, and it just makes more craziness to it. Just adds a little bit more pieces to where it looks just kind of natural. But there's that. Isn't that cute? I like the craziness of raffia, but some of you may not. So if you want like this piece, if you want to trim it down or whatever, you're more than welcome. But I think that is cute. Look at that. Cute. Okay, so our carrot's done, our boy's done. Okay, we're going back to the girl. Let's hope our paint marker doesn't smear. So if you're just joining, if you use glaze on any of your bunny or this whatever, any part, and you go to use a paint marker, it will like kind of run, your marker will run. But if you do paint with a brush, it would be fine. It's just because this paint marker. So let's hope that it doesn't run. And it's not. I put it on pretty thin, so. And my markers have dried out. Okay. There's that. I'm going to go over the whiskers. Now we got to put a little nose on. I'm really liking the stain bunny. I'm glad I did that. Put our little glasses on. And when I line up my glasses, I kind of just set the glasses like right on the top whisker. It just helps you kind of have something to line up. Now, for the bow. Okay, first off, she's cute even without a bow. Look how stinking cute that is. Now for the bow, we could do it on the side. Or we could do it in the middle. I don't know which one I like better, to be honest with you. I don't know if you can see that. There's the center. I might need to trim down my little tail ends of the I think, because it's kind of down in her face. I love that. She is cute. Okay. I'm going to trim down my ends just a smidge. And if you're just hopping on or whatever, if you go back to the replay, I'll show you how to make this little bow in your box so you're not trying to figure it out on your own. I'm going to snip just a little bit more off. You know what else? Okay. Center or to the left? I think I'm going to go to the left or to the side. Okay, now when you do this, you're going to put a little dot of your glue on the back of the jute. And this is going to take a minute of sitting for it to actually... There's one thing, the stick fast on fabric is not as good as it is on wood. So you got to give it a good amount of time to really like dry and adhere for it to stay. I'm going to hope it doesn't fall off. But how cute is that? Okay, girl bunny. Boy bunny. The gray and the stain don't even look bad together. I was worried about it, but it don't. I think the pink brings it together. And then its little carrot. How stinking cute is that, guys? A little set. And I'll take pictures of this to give you an idea of like how to stage it a little bit or set it up in your house, but just give you a couple ideas. But this is stinking cute. And it wasn't even, it's really quick. Pretty easy. Alright guys, if you end up watching the replay and you have questions or troubles or whatever it may be, you can always message me. Yeah, me too, Amanda. I think it's cute on the side. I'm a little hesitant about these little things down in her little eye, but it's not bad. So cute. I like the girl bunny. Alright guys, I will share pictures tomorrow. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. Have a good night, y'all.